Galimera, Galimera, Galimera. Good morning, good morning, good morning. And as you can see today, it's absolutely glorious. Can I thank Amanda for her concise weather forecast this morning? The weather is expected to be highs of 26, but it's going to feel like 28. And I've got to be honest, there was also an article in the press this morning which says that as of tomorrow, we're expecting to get highs of around about 35 degrees Celsius. So we're in for a bit of a heat wave at the moment. That is on its way. I'll let you know tomorrow if that actually happens. But I haven't shown you the area for quite a few days. I've been mainly balcony bound. But anyway, there you go. That's looking across the hills towards Kerry, also towards Amber Lockerbie, and also towards Pantocrator. And as you can see, not a cloud in the sky. Looks absolutely fantastic. A little bit of a breeze, but nothing too strong. It's been absolutely, the weather, to be honest, has been absolutely fantastic. Jane and I were out yesterday in Kalamaki in the afternoon and also in the evening. I had my first swim in a pool actually today, which was yesterday, which was fantastic. Anyway, looking towards Laguna and also Sillery as the crow flies, and it's like it's going to be gorgeous there. Looking towards town in this direction, it's going to be gorgeous in town today as well from the looks of it. And looking up towards the direction of Sillery, again, clear blue skies, and it looks like it's going to be absolutely awesome there as well. Anyway, let's crack on with the news and what's been going on. Quite a bit's been happening within the last 24 hours. Just to let you know what's been going on. Last night it was really good. Jane and I, as I said, we were in Kalamaki yesterday afternoon. We went down to Daisy's pool. Jane had been at the airport meeting guests arriving in from Holland. And believe it or not, we were in Daisy's yesterday. It seemed to be the only place open at the moment taking people in that area. We didn't see anywhere else open. But anyway, nice people. Had a good chat with them about life in Holland, how they've been coping with lockdown. They're all pleased to be here on holiday at the moment. And things are just slowly starting out now to move. Anyway, as for arrivals today, we have one flight in today, which are the Germans are coming. Okay, there's one flight, a Condor flight arriving in from Dusseldorf today. And so, yeah, the Germans are here on the island now, or a few of them at least anyway. Once again, remember yesterday we said that Lufthansa now I'd be putting regular flights into Greece, and also the Germans come up in our news today as well. Anyway, let's have a quick look at the COVID infections in the last 24 hours in Greece. It seems, again, it's a bit mixed. Yesterday, we reported to you 2,020 new cases of COVID infections across Greece. Today, that number has gone up to 2,505 new infections recorded yesterday. As for entries into the country, that's slightly up as well. 3 recorded on my previous report. And on this report, it's 6 new cases have been reported at various entries into the country. Now, according to the national stats at the moment, there's been 2 new cases in Macardo. There's been 1 case in Kefalonia. There's been 5 cases in Corfu, which is probably the lowest infection rate they've had in the last week, at least. Only 5 cases there. However, here in Zakynthos, we've had 4 cases reported here on the national statistics. However, checking the local stats for reports of it, nothing has been reported. So again, I'm going to add that 4 onto the number that I have at the moment, which means that we have 556 positive cases we've had since the beginning of the year. And this month of May, we've had 32 cases, or positive cases on the island in the month of May. When it comes to Deaths, I'm afraid. Oh no, deaths have actually dropped across Greece within the last 24 hours. Did report to you yesterday 56 deaths. Today the report is 37 new deaths across the country, bringing the death toll since the pandemic started to 11,734, and that's since it all kicked off. Again, 96% of those people had underlying health problems or were over the age of 70 as well. When it comes to critical cases are down as well. Quite a significant drop in critical cases. Yesterday I reported 617 critical cases. Well, that is now down to 586 critical cases, 362 male and 224 female. So again, critical cases going down. Once again, just to remind you that the benchmark for critical cases is 900. That's how many beds that the country has to be able to deal with people in incubation. Right, let's go with the news then. Right, now the local press has published a story on the relaxation of the lockdown and restrictive COVID measures that are now in place in Greece at the moment. Now, from Friday, according to this report in the local press, summer cinemas are now allowed to reopen their doors, but they're only allowed a maximum capacity of 75% of their maximum capacity within there. Now, we have a summer cinema here, which is on the seafront down in the town opposite the Plaza Hotel on the municipality beach. At the moment, there's been no sign of life there at all. But anyway, they now have the option to open, and it would be nice actually to go and watch an open air movie. I've got to be 100% honest. Now, from Monday, May the 24th, which is obviously tomorrow, the old betting shops, they're allowed now to start running again, but full strength running. They have been allowing bets to be placed, but they do have like little arcade areas inside these places, and people do sit and watch current sporting events, and they obviously put their bets in as they're watching things going on. Well, that is allowed to reopen as of tomorrow. Also as well, live events, and concerts now in the open air, they are now allowed to open, and they are allowed to be open with 50% capacity. So again, if you're going to book a stadium for a gig for U2 or something like that, you're only allowed 50% capacity. It means the ticket price will go up. That is now being allowed, and that is as of May the 28th. Now, it also has to be noted that from May the 31st, gyms are expected to open. You might remember we had reported earlier that we're expecting gymnasiums to open on the 17th of May. That didn't happen, but now they're reaffirming that gyms may open, on the 31st of May. However, the criteria for their reopening has still yet to be clarified, and that's expected to be done sometime during this week as to what measures they're going to put in place. We had been told earlier one of the measures was that you had to have had the vaccine before you were allowed to go into a gymnasium. That at the moment has not been 100% confirmed, but we are still waiting to see if they will implement that or not. And to be honest, I don't think it's a good move. Me personally, I will quit my gym membership if I have to have the vaccine to go and use a gym. Anyway, according to information, scientists in the coming days are expected to give the green light to allow music in restaurants from the beginning of June. Now, remember that word, expected. Whether it will happen, yes or no, we still have to wait and see. So I'm hoping, yes, common sense is going to prevail, and they are going to allow, they are going to allow music back in bars, restaurants, cafes, because again, like last night when we were out and about, it's weird not having any music or anything else like that. Little transistor radios are on underneath tables. I was actually listening to my show on my MyTuner under the table just to keep a little ear out on it. But anyway, we're hoping that that rule is going to be lifted. Again, don't forget that Magdalena's will be reopening on the 29th, next Saturday. Whether there's music or not, we will be reopening. So let's just fingers crossed that that little rule gets lifted. Also, as well, another thing, I know this is going to affect some people. It seems that the Ministry of Development has expressed the desire to increase the limit of wedding parties to about 100 people at the moment. That's expected to be clarified this week as well. So anybody who's got weddings sorted and organised, they're looking obviously to lift the numbers of that to about 100 people. So again, we'll wait and see if this all happens during the week. All right. Anyway, another interesting story which the local press have published as well, and this kind of links in with yesterday's programme, which is kind of interesting actually. I wonder if they're following me in some ways. But despite the call of the British Prime Minister Boris Johnson and Minister of Health Matt Hancock, the British not to travel to orange destinations, except for exceptional reasons, many Britons have chosen to travel to them. Now, according to the local press, they said that up to 270,000 Britons will fly to orange countries from the UK by the weekend. And according to an analysis that they've been given, it shows that more than 1,300 flights are scheduled in 5 days by Sunday, with 54,000 passengers daily, and to destinations such as Spain, Greece, Italy and France. Now, they said 7 of the UK's top 10 tour operators have taken advantage of the confusion in the government instructions, trafficking, I like the word trafficking tourists to countries or islands designated by the British Foreign Office as safe for unnecessary travel, even though they are on the orange list. So at the moment, that's where the article stops. So again, people, the Greek travel, Greek media here are saying the Brits are still coming, even though technically they're not allowed to come. And there is, as far as they can see, a confusion in the wording from the Foreign Office about essential travel, non-essential travel, who is essential, what is essential, etc., etc. But anyway, we're expecting then to see a lot more people starting to arrive. Now, another serious story, which is in the Greek National at the moment, according to preliminary reports by the National Organisation for Medicines, and this report was issued on Friday, but it's only just made the papers today, at least two of 3 blood clotting incidents in Greece are linked to the AstraZeneca Covid-19 vaccinations. Now, it seems that a 35-year-old man from Lepropia on Crete was hospitalised after suffering 2 blood clots only a few days after receiving the jab. He is now reportedly out of danger. Also, a 44-year-old woman was in a serious condition at the island's General Hospital. This was also on Crete in Heraklion, with a rare but severe type of blood clot, and they reckon that this was a vaccine-induced thrombotic thrombosis, anyway, basically a thrombosis caused by it, which is also got the initials of a VITT. Now, meanwhile, the authorities are still investigating the case of a 47-year-old woman at the same clinic. The woman became paralysed after having the vaccine. So once again, these stories are coming through about problems with the vaccine. Again, it's early days to see what will happen. But interestingly, on Monday, there's a new mega vaccination centre that's going to open on the Aegean island of Rhodes. Now, they're going to be running 24 vaccination units there, capable of performing thousands of vaccinations a day. Whether they're trying to vaccinate everybody on that island, that's not been made clear, but just be aware that they are really ramping up the vaccinations here in Greece at the moment. Now, interestingly, yesterday, this was kind of the talk with some people that I was sat with last night is that from midnight tonight, Germany is imposing a temporary ban on all travellers arriving from Britain, including German residents as well, due to concerns over the spread of the Indian variant in the UK. However, all those allowed to enter Germany will have to self-isolate for 2 weeks, even if they test negative to the COVID-19. Now, there is no word from other European countries or the EU as to whether the ban will be extended to other states, although Spain announced last week that it was opening its borders to UK travellers from Monday, with arrivals not requiring a PCR test. So there you go. Spain seems to be, well, let's have a look. Anyway, those returning from Spain will, though, still have to quarantine at home or in a place of residence for up to 10 days, as well as taking a COVID-19 test before a day before, or before day 2, that's right, and then day 8 of the actual quarantine time. So there you go. At the moment, Germany is banning the Brits. Let's hope that madness doesn't start to arrive here. I was actually talking about this yesterday, that maybe I'm going to say this. There's a little bit of Brexit behind this as well. Also as well, Germany is copying it, shall we say, with the situation of finance for the whole of the EU. And I'm just hoping Mitsotakis is not going to be drawn into, well, if you want the money to keep flowing in from us, mate, you better start playing by our rules. And they may actually turn around and say, right, we don't want the British coming over because we're going to financially support you. I'm surmising that. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I just feel it's very, very strange that 1 minute Germany was welcoming everybody from all over, and the next minute it's shutting the shutters down specifically to the British. All right, but we'll wait and see how things go on. Oh, and then finally, this could be the other reason, and finally, the results of the Eurovision Song Contest. Can I thank those people who actually were putting bets on the Eurovision Song Contest? The winners at the end of it was Italy. They won the final with their song Zitti El Buni by the Rockskin Manskin, which were like, I actually enjoyed their track, actually. It was completely left field, and you might remember that Italy pulled out of the Eurovision Song Contest back years ago because they said it had become old hat and it had become dated. Anyway, the song that won it was not what you would expect from the Italians, that was for sure, and a great rock song. It reminded me a bit gothy as well, to be honest. But anyway, coming in second place was France, and I've got to be honest, that song was just so French. It was unbelievable. And also Switzerland, then they came in third, which again, a really good track. And I do remember people, enjoying that track being played when I played it on Friday. Interestingly then, how did Greece and how did Cyprus get on? Well, Greece actually came in 10th. With 170 points, with Stefiana, who's actually Dutch as well. She performed The Last Dance. It was very popular with the critics. However, unfortunately, at least they came in 10th with that song, The Last Dance. And Cyprus, they came in at 16, all right, with their song called Idablo. I do remember Brian Darlington said, I might put some money on that, Ginge. I really like that song. Despite the controversy of its satanic overtones, they had a few children's voices doing Ring a Roses, and that is classed as being satanic, all right? But anyway, that came in 16th. And so how did Britain do? Well, nil point. That sums it up. We didn't get one single vote. And who was the second lowest scorer? Yeah, it was Germany. Yeah, Germany. They got 3 points. All right. And we got nil point. And to be honest, I did say last night to people, I actually liked the German actual entry. It was very quirky, very non-German. I think it was called I Want Peace or something like that. But it had humour to it. It was a bit like Aqua in some ways. Aqua meets 1920s jazz, if you can understand that. I'm going to play these again on Wednesday, actually. I'm going to do a little review again of the Eurovision on Wednesday, of the winners and the losers. So again, there we go. Our old fella, what was his name? I can't remember his name now. Embers was the name of the track. I'm trying to remember James Newman. That was it. Bless him. He went home with nothing, but he had a good time away. But again, as always, the politics is in there with the Eurovision Song Contest. And the good thing about it, there is always next year. So anyway, there you go. That's the news for today. I can see people laughing already, looking in. Can I just say a quick shout out to Alphaling? Nice to see you there. Joan Bamford is watching as well. Sam Curtis, hello, mate. I will speak to you at some point today, mate. I know I was missed yesterday in the chat room, but I was listening to the show on the old MyTuner app. And can I say that MyTuner app is absolutely awesome. It enables you to obviously listen to the show on the go, and you can throw the signal if you've got Bluetooth in your car. You can throw the signal onto your car stereo and listen to it on there. But again, I'd never really used the MyTuner app, and it's very simple. Download it from the Google Store and put beatsradio.co.uk as a favourite on there, and you can just click to it straight away. You're listening to Beats Radio. Absolutely fantastic. But I will speak to you at some point today, Sam. Lorna Grant is also tuning in as well. Karen Bush is tuning in. Marty Holsworth, Marty the Mod, lovely to see you there. Don't forget, today I've got my Northern Soul show. I'm really excited about this Northern Soul show this afternoon. I have Major Lance appearing on that show. Even though he's been dead years, he will be on the show, not just singing, but talking about his musical career. So again, all those people who know of Major Lance, come and join us tonight at 5 p.m, if I remember rightly, UK time, for the actual Northern Soul show. But I'll put the details up online. Anyway, Andrew the Fridge Watkins is looking in as well. Sam Curtis is looking in. See you at the Northern Soul later. Cheers, my man. Amanda Gregory is also tuning in. Thank you for your weather, Amanda, this week. It's been absolutely brilliant. Barbara Telfer is looking in. Marty Holsworth is saying, good morning, Ginge. Good morning, Marty. Lovely to have you looking in. Lindsay Lamb is also tuning in as well. Gary Crowther is looking in as well. Aaron Vardy's watching as well. Steve Hinkling says, Gallimera, morning here. Hope it lasts. Well, I hope it... Oh, are you having good weather where you are at the moment? Because I've been hearing the weather's been a bit all over the place there. Shane Bowen up there on Exmoor is tuning in as well. Gary Crowther says, morning, mate. Sent you an important update on Facebook. Ha, ha, ha. Much love. I shall look out for that important update on Facebook. I shall look forward to that. Anyway, Shane Bowen says, Gallimora Genge from a pleasant Exmoor, wishing you a wonderful Sunday. Thank you very much, fella. Aaron Bardi says, good morning, Ginge. In your opinion, should the UK not bother with the Eurovision Song Contest? Listen, mate. We were the guys that kind of initially started the Eurovision Song Contest back in about 1950 odd, all right? We are one of the highest, it's like the EU, it's like the mini EU. We put a lot of money into Eurovision, and we are one of what they call the top five. So we never have to compete to be in the final, which is, again, for us, might be a good thing. But we put a lot of money into it. I know in the moment in the UK, it's kind of seen as kitschy. It's kind of seen as a bit outdated, a bit old fashioned. But when you kind of experience Eurovision from the other side, like in Europe itself, you can just see how flawed it is in some respects when it comes to the voting, the judging, how tribal it can be as well. But in some ways, that's kind of the kitschiness that I like about it. It's you get the true perspective of nation towards nation. When they say music brings people together, in some ways, yes, it does. In a peaceful way, shall we say that the old, the old wounds are there on display. but because of a song, they're kind of glossed over, but they're still there. But again, I think Eurovision, and of course, I've had a bit of a history with Eurovision. The group that I used to manage, Zanti's Dilemma, back in, I think it was 2008, 2009, we actually put a song in for Eurovision, and we recorded it with a lovely lady from the UK. It was a duet type song. We put the song in, and this was when, another little thought's been reminded. Simon Cowell tried to take control of Eurovision back years ago. Obviously, his show, Americans got the Got Talent series, also the X Factor. They were using that as a vehicle to kind of infiltrate into Eurovision. And in the year that we had a problem, we'd been asked to submit a song. We'd written a song, we'd recorded it. We then had, obviously, at our expense, this is all done. This is not, it's been paid for, along with Cyprus as well. We were in that situation, and we submitted our songs, obviously, to go onto the committee, and then we were refused on the grounds that they were only using acts that were signed to Psycho. And some of the groups that we were with decided that we were going to take it to court, but nothing really came of it. But the point was, it was interesting at that time just how important that Simon Cowell saw the Eurovision Song Contest and wanted to use that as a vehicle to obviously promote music as another way. If you think about it now, Britain's Got Talent, it's all about getting an act to appear at the Royal Variety. He wanted to get an act from X Factor to appear in the Eurovision Song Contest. And in some ways, that was kind of a smart move thing to do. But the problem is, because of the franchise of the show going to all the different nations, Greece being part of that franchise, it pushed us out. And we obviously got involved in legal proceedings to try and sue to obviously at least get our costs back for making a record that was then not allowed to be given to the adjudicators. And the other crazy thing about this, we didn't even have the copyright of the record because of the contract that was done with the Eurovision, which to me was totally wrong. If you've recorded it and you have it, you should have the copyright to it. But they protect the copyright of the songs because they want to make some money out of them somehow. And remember, Eurovision is a massive money-making thing. It's a bit like the Olympics for singing, all right? Lots of, sponsorship, everything else that goes on behind the scenes. Some of it you see on the screen, some of it you don't. But at the end of the day, yeah. But coming back to the original question, yes, bloody right, we should stay in the Eurovision. Even if we get a crap score, just hang on in there, boys. At least you got your feet in both camps. If Australia can be there, if Israel can be there, and they're nowhere near Europe, to be quite honest, then I'm sure Britain can be there as Great Britannia. Okay. Another thing, if all of a sudden they want to split off into the Welsh version or the Scottish version or the Irish are already there anyway, and great fun they are as well. But a Northern Irish version, we will wait and see. But no, yes, we should still be there. Anyway, Ben says good morning. Thank you, Ben. Look forward to this afternoon's show. David Douglas says, morning. Made the broadcast today. Weather not bad here in Faith in Scotland. Okay, cheers for that, Doug. Steve Hinkling is obviously watching. Got Steve. Brett Weston is there. Dave Lismore says, morning, Ginge. Shame we didn't do better in the Eurovision. I think the nerves kicked in. Had my money on France, Netherlands entry. Took me back to the Peter Gate. Was it the Peter Gablieri, Under African Skies? Oh yeah, that's true. I've never thought of that, actually. Can't win them all. No, we can't win them all, but at least we're there, and that's the main thing. And Graham Norton normally does a fantastic commentary. Everybody said, oh, you'll never beat Tell, you'll never beat Tell. And to be honest, he did. Unfortunately, we tried like damn to watch the Eurovision last night. We were trying all sorts of patches and fill-ins, and because we don't have terrestrial television where we are, we missed out on it. And I'd love to just seen it, and actually watched it at the time. I might watch it on replay, but we'll wait and see. Anyway, Steve Hodgson is also watching as well. Rainer Pete Dillon. Steve Hodgson says the contest should get binned. It's the biggest pile of shite ever to be aired on television. Thank you very much, Steve. There's nothing like a happy fella on a Sunday morning, is there? But he loves his Northern Soul, though, so I'm not going to knock him for that. Christine Brown is watching. Zanti Pete says, a very good morning, Ginge, and all peeking in. Have a great Sunday. And don't forget, mate, Northern Soul this evening. Make sure you come and join me. Lorraine Julie Hudson, morning, Ginge, from a cloudy Blackpool. Oh, bless you. Is it cloudy in Blackpool? Sean Webb says, morning, Ginge. Morning, Marty. Oh, bless. Two ex-Rap buddies communicating together through the wonder of my blog. Anyway, Ken Grant is watching. Cy Grilly, another Rap buddy, looking in as well. Nia Steer is looking in. Glenn Fraser. Richard Knight is watching. Brian Sling, another Rap Ken Grant is watching. Rachel Hansen is watching as well. Brian Singer says, morning, Ginge, Martin and Sean. Thank you, Brian. Steve Hodgson says, my God, Ginge, have you got COVID? You're talking weird. Could be my teeth, actually. Gary says, me cynical, ha ha ha. Joan Bamford says, morning, Ginge. Delia says, good morning as well. Zanti says, looking forward to Northern Soul. Mary Morris Phillips is looking forward to your visit this week as well, my lovely. I'm not going to say any more than that, but looking forward to it. Tony Prince is, I've lost you there now. Tracy Price is looking in. Also, Barbara Cocker. She says morning. Margaret Miller. John Clifford is tuning in as well. Right, that's it from me. Just to let you know that Jane and we're going to be going down to Camino today just to see if that has opened and see who is there. It's a lovely little area down in the Vasilikos location. Again, we're sort of doing little tours around while we can, because for all we know, Jane's back to work as well at the moment. I will be back to work. Hopefully, if all works out and they lift the ban, I'll be back to work. But once again, just to remind you, Magdalena's is opening next Saturday, the 29th of May. I'll be putting PR up online to get you ready for the reopening. Come hell, come high water. And we'll just see who turns up and what transpires. And we'll just keep my ear to the ground, keep on, see how things go, and see what happens. Anyway, big shout out to Steve Lee as well, who's tuning in as well. Lovely having you looking in. I'm going to disappear away now, cook some breakfast, and then we're off to the beach. The weather, again, is absolutely fantastic. I hope you have a nice time wherever you are, and you stay safe as well. Ta-ra!